Hey, Mika. You'll notice I'm still wearing the same outfit. Actually, today I've had a really, really long day, but over the last 4 days or so, I have written down like a shitload of topics that I wanted to throw at you guys. So, you're going to see this outfit on a couple of different videos. I would apologize, but this is me being productive and in manic mode. So, yeah, you're just going to get a whole bunch of videos today. Um, Not today, because I'm going to space them out and I'm going to let them out whenever the fuck I please. So you'll get them around, not now, but soon-ish, I guess. I've mentioned my cousin Juan before. He was very into trauma film, the trauma films, horror. He was all about that sort of. He was a director, and I was with him all through film school. He would do all of his homework here, all of his research that he did here with me, and we went through that whole thing together before he passed away. Um, we were biologically related, but we were family, probably closer than half of my brothers. But when we were introduced to each other, we were introduced to each other by, I think, a sibling of mine. And I always have this rule that if I meet you through a sibling or something, you have that once removed kind of deal from me. So you can't be a sibling of mine. You would be their sibling, but you would be my cousin. So, that being said, for about 3 or 4 years, everyone had been telling me that I should meet Juan. He's a really great guy, and that we would get along. And you know how that kills friendships automatically. So I just didn't want to have anything to do with it. No, I'm not going to meet this kid. Whatever. I don't give a fuck. And I don't know if we had physically met before that. We probably did. But I remember meeting him at a club one night, and there, the conversations were going in this kind of direction where uh, my friends were talking about something, and he's about a person over from me. And they're all talking about a topic that I really wasn't interested in. I think it was like a place out in Vermont or something that they all wanted to go to and whatnot. And they were talking about the decor or something, whatever. I found it very boring, and I didn't want to be rude. And so I was like, oh, it's that. And so I kind of like had this, because my internal monologue doesn't always work on the inside. I had this like conversation, and the undercurrent of the conversation, he picked up on it. And like they said something, I was like, oh, when I become queen of the world, that will not happen. And he started saying, oh, well, then you have to televise, executions or something like that. So we started like plotting global domination in the undercurrent conversation, where my friends are having this conversation over us, until one or two of them would realize what we're talking about, and they'd become interested in our conversation. and, and being horrible people as we are, um, what we did was we turned around and go, oh, yeah, we didn't say anything, and then we'd run out for a cigarette break. And we'd do the same thing there too, but it became kind of our thing, where we would run into each other and we'd have a conversation. We'd start a conversation with people, and then we'd start an undercurrent conversation as well, just for shits and giggles, I guess. And it became our thing. We became more than family because we are jerks in that kind of way. But uh, a couple of things that came out of that was our plan for global domination, um, where we use the three major weapons: our wits, our good looks, and our charm. That's how we're going to win. The whole world will listen. They'll just shh and allow me to become queen of the world. It'll be fine. Um, the other thing that came out of this is our lists. We, because I have a list for everything. I had a list for how to clean my room when I wasn't in town. had a list for each of the rooms, what needed to be done, what needed to not be done, which plants needed to be watered every day. So I had everything in lists. And he decided he was going to start making lists too. People who should not be allowed to get naked on film ever again. People who should be allowed to get naked on film. As a matter of fact, it should be in their contracts all the time. The the major list. My future ex-husbands to be. Since I'm shit at marriage and dating, we just figured we'd come up with an arbitrary list of future ex-husbands, so that whenever a guy comes up to me and wants to become my boyfriend, I can tell him that I'm not done with my to-do list yet. And so I present them with the list, and if I haven't gone through that full list yet, I'm not free to date or be married to anyone else anyways. Um, so yeah, I that came up because a couple of days ago was the 6-year anniversary of his funeral. And so I was talking about this with another friend of ours, my cousin Ed. He was here the other night. We were just shooting shit, and we were talking about Juan's reaction and what it would be like to the new Halloween Kills. And I watched it today, and Ed was right. Juan would be losing his shit in half of those scenes. I miss Juan. I just wanted to remember him and think about him, and I wanted to kind of, because I know I'm probably going to bring him up a lot more in conversation here and there, and be like, oh, my cousin Juan would say, because he comes up a lot in my day to day. I mean, he's been gone for 6 years, and I still have committing arguments with him now and again. You know, I'll watch a movie and be like, I know, I hear you yelling, shut up, you know, but we all do that. And I think it's kind of healthy to have them around just a little bit for that moment, not like you conjure them physically and have them here with a Ouija board and sit and converse with them all the time. I don't do that. I don't go anywhere near a Ouija board. Um, I'm not schizophrenic. I'm not hearing their voices or anything like that. I just have that moment when you just kind of feel their presence there, you know, talk shit with them for a second, and you feel them go away. I don't know. It's weird. I'm weird. I miss my Juan. He made a lot of nonsense. But in the nonsense, there was a lot of sense, a lot of logic. And I hated that about him, but at the same time, I loved it about him, because without him, a lot of my life wouldn't have made sense. So, there is that.